lesson 4, create your track. If you have watched my previous videos, and by watching those videos you have learned a lot about creating a tabletop board game, then I hope that you will consider going to my homepage and clicking on the subscribe button, and then telling all your family and friends about my Create Your Own Tabletop Board Game YouTube channel. All right, so create your track. Now, when you're about to create your track, you can use paper and some kind of writing instrument. You can use your computer, your laptop, tablet, or what have you to create your track. And all you're going to do is take a line and you're going to draw a distinctive and unique route that's different from everyone else's. So I'm going to give you an example. So here is a track that I'm about to create for my board game. So all it is a line, and I'm just drawing this line a certain kind of way. And this is my track that I am drawing for my board game. I know it doesn't look like anything to you, but when you take your tracers and you follow this track route, just as you see it on the game board that you created in my earlier videos, then you'll see once you finish tracing out this line and you turn your game board flat, you're going to see that you've actually created a great track for your board game. So let me show you what I mean. So when you take your tracers and you trace the line just as you see it on your game board that you created, it's like this, and you put them together and you're tracing it. Remember, you're using your tracer instead of these lines. And once you use your tracers on your game board, you'll find out that you actually have created a track for your tabletop board game. So let's do another track route. So this is an exercise for you to do. You really don't have to think about it. All you're doing is drawing a distinctive and unique line for your tabletop board game. I was about to use a pencil. Okay, so here we go. Let's do another one. So I'm going to go straight down this way, up, over, so it's up to you to use your imagination of the kind of track that you want to create for your board game. Again, it looks like funny designs or funny shapes on the canvas that you're going to be using. But as I said, once you use your tracer and you trace the lines just as you see it, all the way from the beginning to the end, and once you finish tracing it with your tracer on your game board that you already created, and then you turn your game board flat, you're going to see that you created a nice, distinctive, and unique track for your game board. Not for your game board, but for your board game. So this is a track, and then you decide which end is start and which end is home. All right. Now, this track, first two tracks that I created were without playing cards. Now remember, we're going to create two board games, one with playing cards and one without playing cards. So I'm going to draw and create a track that includes playing cards. So I'm I'm going to do like this. And creating my track, I'm going to leave space open because I want to leave that space for my playing cards. So right in here, right in this space is my playing cards. So I'm going to use playing cards with my track. Again, I'm going to trace on my game board that I created from the earlier videos that you watched. I'm going to follow the line with my tracer, and by the time I finish tracing the line on my game board, I'm going to have a nice, distinctive, and unique track for my game board. So remember, it looks funny this way, but after you finish tracing it and you turn your game board flat, you're going to see that you have a nice looking track for your game board or for your board game. So here are the playing cards. I'm going to lay my playing cards right here on the track. So you decide if your game board you're going to create with playing cards, whether the playing cards are going to go on the track, or if you're going to create a board game with playing cards where each player holds their own playing cards. So just for an example and just to show you a demonstration, we're going to use the playing cards on the track itself. So just one stack of playing cards here. And then later on in videos, I'm going to show you how to use the playing cards along with your elements on your track. So here is an example of a track that doesn't look like a track. But as I said, once you start tracing your lines from beginning to the end, and then choose which area, which end is going to be your start and which end is going to be your home, then you'll see, once you lay it flat, that you do have a distinctive and unique track that you created all by yourself. That's all it takes. It's just that simple. Now, when you're creating your track and you're using your tracer, you want to make sure the tracer that you're using to create your track, that you are creating your shapes side by side. In other words, when you are using your tracer, that's my first circle shape. Now, you want to do it side by side. So you're tracing side by side. You want to get each shape as close as possible side by side. Okay, so you actually don't want to do this. You don't want to do like this and then like this, where one shape touches the other. In other words, it's too close. It's coming over to the other shape. So you don't want to do it that way. You want to do it this way. Take your time and trace your shape, and then the next one should be right next to it. The next one should be right next to it. So you want to create a track where your shapes are side by side. Side by side, like that. So it's just that simple. You draw a line however you decide to draw it, and you draw it on some paper or you draw it on a computer, and then you take your game board that you created in my earlier videos, and you take your tracer on your game board and you look at the track that you created, and you follow your track with your tracer, and when you finish, you'll see that you've created a distinctive and unique track for your tabletop board game. And that's as simple as it is. Okay, so let's try one more track root. All right, so here's another track root. That's all you're doing, is you're drawing lines to create a distinctive and unique track that will go around your game board. So that's another one right there. So again, remember, now that you drew your track root, take the game board that you created in my earlier videos, lay it flat, take your tracer, and you're going to follow each line around as you see it, as you have created it, on your game board using your tracer. And when you finish, you'll see that you have a nice, distinctive, and unique track. And you can determine which is your start space and which is your home space. So that's lesson 4, create your track. And stay tuned for how you're going to use your elements on your track that you've created for your tabletop board game. So thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have learned a lot about how to actually create your track for your tabletop board game.